What's up, guys? This is Veteran Noob, and today I am back with Phase 4 of my Marvel universe. Yeah, it's been a while since the last video. I've been kind of taking a break of doing these universes videos, but today I'm doing Phase 4. So let's get into this. So the first movie is Doctor Strange. So in this movie, we'll see the origin of Doctor Strange. We'll see Dr. Stephen Strange as a surgeon who gets into a car accident that injures him and he can't work anymore because of his injuries. So he wants to find alternate ways to heal himself, like magic. He learns about the Sorcerer Supreme, who's also known as the Ancient One, and Strange tracks down the Ancient One to Kamartaj. Doctor Strange becomes a student of the Ancient One and learns magic. Strange also meets a fellow student of the Ancient One, Wong, and they become allies. Doctor Strange finds out another one of the Ancient One's students, Baron Mordo, is trying to bring back Dormammu and plans to kill the Ancient One. Doctor Strange stops Mordo's attempt at killing the Ancient One and tells the Ancient One about Mordo's plan. Baron Mordo gets banished from Kamartaj by the Ancient One, so he plots revenge against Doctor Strange. Doctor Strange goes back to New York and lives in the Sanctum Sanctorum with Wong, and then Mordo attacks the Sanctum Sanctorum, and then Strange and Wong stop Mordo, and the Ancient One gives Strange the title of Sorcerer Supreme. And the post-credit scene will tease Clea. Next movie is Black Panther Wakanda Forever. So in this movie, as T'Challa is still settling into his role as king, he discovers he has a cousin named Eric Killmonger who challenges him to the throne. Killmonger wins and he becomes the king of Wakanda and decides to wage war against the rest of the world. So this will be like similar to like the 2018 Black Panther movie that came out in real life, except this is going to be like a sequel to a previous Black Panther movie, and we'll also introduce Everett Ross. So the next movie is Fantastic Four: The Negative Zone. In this movie, Reed Richards discovers a parallel dimension known as the Negative Zone. So the Fantastic Four go to discover the Negative Zone, but they get stuck there. The team learns about the ruler of the Negative Zone, a nihilist who is using the Cosmic Control Rod to control the inhabitants of the Negative Zone. The secondary villains of the movie will be Blastar and Psycho Man. We also learn that Reed and Sue now have a son named Franklin. Nova will appear in the movie. We'll have a post-credit scene teasing Silver Surfer. Next movie is Iron Man 3. So after the events of Avengers 2, Tony Stark has created a bunch of Iron Man suits. Tony finds out that the Mandarin is hiding in China, so Tony travels to China with his suits to find him. And we find out that Mandarin has awakened the Chinese dragon resembling shape-shifting alien known as Fin Fang Foom. So Fin Fang Foom kills Mandarin and attacks the people of China. Crimson Dynamo and Whiplash will appear briefly in the movie. Shang-Chi will also be introduced in the film. Drax the Destroyer comes to Earth to kill Fin Fang Foom. Iron Man uses the 10 rings to defeat Fin Fang Foom, and post-credit scene will have the Collector collect Fin Fang Foom. So the next movie will be X-Men Asteroid M. In the beginning of this film, we'll see a massive mutant massacre by the Sentinels. This could be like Genosha or something. After this attack, Magneto decides to go back to being evil and decides to go after humanity. Magneto creates Asteroid M and goes to live there with his new Brotherhood of Mutants, which consists of Magneto, Mystique, Blob, Sabretooth, Quicksilver, Scarlet Witch, Destiny, Toad, and Mastermind. The X-Men have to go to Asteroid M and convince Magneto to not kill humans. The movie will also introduce Havoc, Polaris, and Jubilee. Juggernaut will appear briefly in the movie, and the government decides to bomb Asteroid M, so the X-Men work with the Brotherhood to save themselves, and at the end of the movie, Magneto decides to reform and join the X-Men. Next movie is Thor Ragnarok. So the Enchantress has freed the fire giant known as Surtur, and Surtur destroys Asgard, so Thor needs to come back to Asgard to stop Surtur from causing more damage. Odin will die in this movie, Beta Ray Bill, Valkyrie, Balder, and Hercules will be introduced, and Loki will also help Thor fight Surtur. The next movie is Ant-Man Age of Ultron. So Hank Pym has created Ultron to protect humanity, but Ultron decides he wants to get rid of humanity instead. Vision will be introduced. Ultron turns Janet into Jocasta. Scott Lang will be introduced. Avengers members will appear to help Hank fight Ultron. In the end of the movie, Hank will destroy all the Ultron robots, and he will become the Yellow Jacket. Okay, next movie is Ghost Rider. Johnny Blaze will be the Ghost Rider in this film. The movie will be rated R. Mephisto will play a role into this movie. The main villain will be Blackheart, and Blade will show up in a post-credit scene. Next movie is Avengers Infinity War. This movie will be a lot like the actual Avengers Infinity War, but with a lot of changes to fit the universe. The Guardians of the Galaxy won't be in the movie because they don't exist in this universe, but Nebula, Gamora, Drax will appear, but they won't be members, guards. And also the X-Men and Fantastic Four will be a part of the movie. So next movie is Spider-Man 5. This movie will take place before Infinity War. Peter has now graduated from Empire State University and he's with MJ now, but Eddie Brock now has the symbiote and wants revenge on Peter for ruining his life. Eddie and the symbiote, they bond together over their hatred of Peter and become Venom. And also Daredevil will be in this movie. Next movie is Wolverine Japan. After the events of Infinity War, Wolverine decides to just go back to Japan. Yukio will play a role in the movie. Lady Deathstrike finds out that Wolverine is in Japan and she decides she needs to kill him. And Lady Deathstrike is a cyborg who's the daughter of the Japanese kingpin Kenji Oyama, and she's now took over the role of Kingpin after the death of her father. The reason why Lady Deathstrike wants to kill Wolverine is because her father made the adamantium in Wolverine's body, and she thinks he didn't deserve the adamantium. Sunfire will appear in this movie, and Silver Samurai will be a secondary villain. The final movie of Phase 4 will be Avengers Endgame. So the movie will be a lot like Avengers Endgame, but it'll fit more into this universe. Instead of 5 years, we'll have it be 1 year because 5 years, that's a bit too long. Instead of the whole like Ant-Man coming back from like the quantum realm shit, like it's gonna be Hank Pym has been in his lab for 1 year working on a way to fix the snap and comes across time travel. And instead of that scene of like Hawkeye and Black Widow in Vormir where Black Widow sacrifices herself, it's going to be Hank and Janet will be the one to sacrifice herself. For TV shows, we'll have X Factor, She-Hulk, Thunderbolts, Loki, and Wakanda. So yeah, that's it for Phase 4 of my universe. Phase 5 coming soon.